Welcome to Urban Life Coach. I'm David Wayne YBE, and here's 5 signs you're a chosen one. 1. It seems like you have a target on your back. I remember when I was young, I grew up under a different kind of father. It was a single father household. My dad didn't have a father of his own, and he came from back part of the country, Creole kind of guy. I guess you could say, to put out blankly, it was tendencies where he could be abusive. I love my dad. I love him. I love him. But it was abusive when I was young. So I remember I used to ask a lot of questions, and my father used to tell me, stop thinking or you might blow something up. Thinking back, that actually would be a cool power. But he used to say, stop thinking or something will blow up. Stop thinking or something will blow up. And he would say it all the time. And he said it so many times, and especially around my cousins, that they picked up on it. And all of a sudden I have everyone around me saying, stop thinking or something will blow up. Just blah, 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 making fun of me. Everywhere, every family event, every time I saw them. So I was getting made fun of family and at home and at school. I was the kid that was always reading books. It was like I had a target on my back. And even as an adult, I walk into a room, everyone's attention is on me. And at some point in time, even if they're smiling in my face or if they are trying to befriend me, at some point in time, they tend to become my Judas. They tend to turn against me. They tend to be jealousy. They tend to be envy. But it's a part of that chosen walk. We'll get more into it. Number 2, your life until this point has felt like a softcore Final Destination movie. Disaster after incident after disaster has happened to you your entire life. It's like the universe is trying to kill you. It is like every power, everything is trying to destroy you or your spirit inside. It's because there's something special in you. It is because you are chosen. When I was young, I was trying to impress a girl. I think I was maybe around 10 or 11. Went to this public swimming pool, and it had an extremely tall diving board. It had the midsection, and then it had the high section. All the tough people go to the high section. The diving board was made out of concrete and like rocks and whatnot. It wasn't like the flexible kind. It was hard and stern. So I went all the way to the top. I was trying to prove something. I don't know what was going through my head. And so I visualized in my head that I was going to do 3 front flips and boom, perfect dive. Visioned it in my head. And so lo and behold, I conquered my fear, because Lord knows I've always, at high heights, it scares the daylights out of me. But I've been practiced and conquering my fears since I was young. So I got there to the edge, and I did it just as I visualized. I jumped, tucked like this to a ball. Naturally, I started spinning forward. I did 3 front flips, but I did not visualize the whole thing. I was never a professional diver or swimmer. I didn't visualize untucking, and so in my natural, I did not untuck it. So, but it was still a perfect dive up until that point. So my head hit the water flat out. So I had landed head first without unfurling. So, lo and behold, the water hit me like a ton of bricks. And I must have passed out for maybe a good 5 seconds. And I was and I was sinking. And I woke up underwater. And I was still sinking. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm just going to hit the bottom, and I'm just going to push myself back up. I didn't know at the time that it was 20 feet deep. So after a while, I realized I'm not hitting the bottom anytime soon. So I start swimming up. I'm already panicking. I'm already losing the air. And I remember seeing something that looks like the surface, the shimmer on top of the water. And I push up one final push. I feel the break of the water. I've taken a deep breath, and I look around, and I'm still underwater. I was still underwater. I had about another 30 seconds before I reached the top and actually broke the surface. And just like every good movie, that's when the lifeguard shows up and pulls me out of the water just when I don't need him anymore, though I was still grateful. Thank you, lifeguard. A lot of people never believed me on that. I had no reason to lie about it. In fact, it was traumatizing. I had another incident where when I was older, I was around 26, and I was ministering a lot in the church at the time, and I was talking to a young man. He became angry with the blood, and he was holding the Bible when I was talking to him. And while I was talking to him, all of a sudden, this lady, Caucasian lady, in an SUV, this gray SUV, I remember like tomorrow, like yesterday, and she rolled up slowly and she started shouting all these profanities, and all of a sudden she pulls out a gun, silver gun, bow, bow, bow. She shot off 3 shots. I must have dove under the nearest car that was closest to me. I dove on that concrete and scratched myself up like it was the water. And I didn't get shot, thank God. And the other young man that I was speaking to, he ran off. So I'm not sure as to whether or not he was hit. But I know that that person was really close and shot 3 shots and none of them hit. It was once again another disaster. And now what you're experiencing could be close to that. It could be less than that. It could just be you just seem very unlucky. You're tripping over things. Your plans are not falling through as they would. No luck in love. It could be all of those things. And yeah, it's not, I would say, unlucky, but it's like a force trying to prevent you from going forward. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. Number 3, you have a natural inclination for the light and seeing the positive sides to things. So this is something I always thought was weird. I call it gang guilt. I remember I played, if you're familiar, I played this video game called Skyrim back in the day. And on that game, there was a particular mission where you have to choose to cannibalize. And for the life of me, I could not choose that. It just did not feel right. Even the weapon that you got for it did not even feel worth it. Even though this was a game, I felt like the choices that I still made here had some type of marking on my soul. I felt like just because I was in the virtual world, that was no different from this natural world, which I perceive as natural. It would be no different. It would still have that marking on my soul. I really felt that naturally. Number 4, you have one or more spiritual gifts. Now, we know about many spiritual gifts that you may be familiar with: prophecy, dreaming dreams, high-level intuition or discernment. And I would never put these gifts in a box. I would never put it in a box. I would never say that that's all it could be. I would never do that. But these are those are the ones that people are most familiar with. Now, I know that I've had experiences and things that I can't necessarily explain. It's hard to get into, but I do know that these are very personal gifts between you and God, between you and the universe, between you and your source. So I remember for one of my gifts, I had dreams. I used to, but still do. Not as much as when I was young. Some of my other gifts have became stronger. This one has been more supplementary. But one of my gifts was dreaming. And so when I was young, I remember specifically laying down, me and my cousins and stuff together, and we were at my grandmother's house, and I remember sleeping, and then all of a sudden seeing myself in third person. And then we were all still asleep on that bed. I saw the light on in the hallway. I heard my grandparents speaking, but then all of a sudden the room started to turn into cubes, and it started to cube up. Everything turned into cubes and started to fall down, like crumbling, like like uh, like wooden blocks. And these blocks were moving on their own, and they restructured themselves, and everything in the room, all the furniture was still in the room, but it restructured, like all the furniture moved to a whole different way. The formation of the room was in a completely different way than it was prior to that, and it was very strange. I couldn't understand it at that particular time. But then years later, having remembered a dream, because it was super realistic. Years later, I remember one of my younger cousins moved into my grandmother's, and they rearranged the room. And I remember walking in, and deja vu. Man, it's such a strong deja vu. It was uncanny. The room was just as I remembered it in a dream from when I was way younger. And this is years and years later. But it was just as it was on there. Okay, number 5. Your communication with God and connection with the universe has always felt natural since young. Your thoughts are directed towards your higher source rather than just inward. Rather than just speaking to yourself, you tend to be having a communication, a deliberation towards a higher being. You were never able to really explain it, but it's something that you've always done, and it's always felt natural. And you probably always thought other people has always done the same around you. You know, I could say that with everything that I went through, with my father, the abuse in the household, and just being a black sheep of the family, all around nerd or whatever you want to call it, just a different kind of guy. I can say that my communication with God, Source, universe, has really saved my life. It was my hope that really got me out of a lot. But all of these things really explained to me and really made clear to me once I had my awakening that I am a chosen one. The Bible says that many are called, but few are chosen. He told me that I was chosen. You may be chosen if you line up with these. You may have always felt this. You've always known that there was something different about you, that there was something more about you. You've always felt out of place and out of time. You've always felt that your soul itself is something timeless, and you've never been able to explain it. You've felt more. You desire more. You hunger for more. Not on a materialistic, but on this spiritual inner purpose. You have this longing to fulfill your purpose and to bring a higher vibration onto this plane, on this planet, to help everyone around you. You have always been a person of deep thought and a person that seems to be beyond the superficial. Hey, it's a hard life, but the ending is so much better than the beginning. 10 times, thrice times, 30 times better than your beginning. You're a chosen one, and you were chosen for a purpose. You were chosen for this season, and so up until now you've been through training. Up until now, you had to be made aware of your gifts and how to use them, aware of your purpose, and how to stay focused. That's 5 signs that you're chosen. Check me out on Instagram at DavidWayneYBE. I'm your urban life coach, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button below. Click it right there. Hit that bell icon and watch those videos. I need some new shoes. My son needs some new shoes, so that really does help. My next video will be on spiritual awakening. It will be posted here. Go ahead and watch, and you have a wonderful day. Stay mindful, stay peaceful. Until next time.